numbers. If not, there we go, right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you look around and you look at, this is raw data from 2013 to 2019. No championship week, 0 week, Army Navy, Labor Day week, Thanksgiving week. So those are all prime time. So this is the meat of the season, what networks have average viewers. And if you look around, CBS really runs away with this thing with 1.5 million viewers more overall because they have the SEC. The Big Ten's been on Fox and is far behind, and somehow they're going to negotiate a deal that might be bigger than the SEC. That is what if you were watching the show on Friday, and we've talked about a lot, Craig, you might have a lot of these big TV markets, but if I'm in Birmingham, Alabama, which is a market in the middle of the pack, and I know that 350,000 people are going to watch in Birmingham, Alabama, and I'm in, say, San Francisco, and 350,000 people are going to watch there, San Francisco only more valuable to me in the abstract of, there could be more people that watched.
Yeah, but it's all wishful thinking.
But they're empty seats that could or could not be filled.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sam does a great job there. Man, I just was thinking about that text from that guy talking down to the south. I mentioned the first time that I haven't, been in AC was actually on the West Coast. The last time and the first time I ever saw somebody just openly pooping on the street, that was also in California. That was in San Francisco to be exact. So, yeah, culture that. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's awfully similar, and there's a lot of wishful thinking and stuff just kind of being floated out there about this market and that market. But, yeah, actually showing proof of, look, Stanford and Cal really do carry this number of San Francisco. I don't see any of that out there. It's just that's the market they're in. So it's just they happen to be there. Not so much that they bring it with them. But after seeing that as well, I can see where somebody would say, well, see, there's no point in the Pac-12 teams leaving or the blah, blah, blah. And I agree with that. But I maintain after seeing that it's basically the same exact thing. It's like looking in the mirror post USC, UCLA, Oklahoma, and Texas is I still believe the Big 12 is in a stronger position because there's not two teams at the very top right now that may or may not be there in about a couple years, depending on what the Big 10 decides to do. Now, again, I know that threat still looms for the Big 12 as well. The fact that it is so quiet makes me even more alarmist about the fact that there could be something going on. And, tomorrow we hear TCU's leaving for, the North or whatever. So I don't think the Big 12 is completely safe from any further damage, but Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal all being rumored or at least appearing to have some strong interest if a Big Ten invite were to come their way, more so than we've heard about any kind of smoke in regards to any Big 12 teams. That, to me, just makes me think the Big 12's in a stronger position. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but, I do think that them not signing that grant of rights here pretty soon or not signing a new TV contract like the Pac-12 will pretty soon, I think it does ultimately probably work out better for them. And maybe I'm wrong on that, but that Oregon-Washington piece is just very shaky to me. And right now the Big 12 doesn't have an equivalent that I'm nearly as worried about, that if they were to bolt, that everything just falls apart.
The counter would be, because does the Big 12 have someone like Washington or Oregon that you would be worried about leaving?
Yeah, and I understand that, but that doesn't really matter.
Just a point.
Yeah, no, it's a great point, but it doesn't really matter. That's just if you want to be feeling better about yourself. We have teams that are better regarded. Well, okay, great. And then your conference is still dying, so what does it really matter? You know what I mean?
Yep.
If it means that the Big 12 doesn't have 2 more or 4 more, whatever, that are good enough to go to the Big 10 because of academics or whatever, but the Big 12's still alive, well, mission accomplished for the conference, and that's what I'm looking at it. I'm not looking at it from an individual Texas Tech point of view or KU point of view. Look, if I was looking at it straight from the Baylor point of view, I'm not even a Baylor fan, day one Baylor fan, tried and true. I'm an Oklahoma guy. I'm thrilled that they're going to be in the SEC and that it's going to work out really well for them most likely, and they're going to make tons and tons of money and all that. And I wouldn't blame any other school that goes and jumps and does the same thing from any of these conferences, but looking at it from a good or bad for the Big 12 point of view, yeah, I'd say that's good for the Big 12, ultimately. And then the Pac-12 can die, but be happy that their schools were worth more, even though it led to their death, I guess.
Yeah, okay. I'd like to make one more quick point that Sam keeps saying, and I think this is true not just for the Big 12 and Pac-12. This looks like it's true for almost everything across the board. There is one time slot that is absolutely running away with everything, and it is the nighttime on CBS, which is the SEC.
Yes.
So they're the outlier. They're the ones who are really pushing this
Twice
huge
as
number.
much as anybody else's number.
Everyone else is more or less the same.
Yeah.
So all of this like stuff that's moving around for TV is a little bit fool's gold.
Hey, you know, Fox, you hear about those noon starts or 11 o'clock starts that Oklahoma hated? 3.1 million on average for those particular ones. Hey, I want to say thanks to Kip Ling.